Hello people, I'm Data from JGX, and it's time to review April patch notes. Some interesting news are here. First, the new Platinum Collection. I'll do a video separately on these mechs. But long-awaited weapon and equipment HP adjustments. Now, what are these numbers and what is their use? Let's just start from the beginning. When your armor is gone, your structure is open to the hits. When you receive a hit on your structure, it is possible that the enemy weapon rolls a crit on your internals. This crit can result in a higher damage on your internal structure and or a damage dealt to the component health of the stuff that is equipped on the torso or in the arm, on the leg, where you get hit without armor. So this patch makes it so that when you get hit on a component where your armor is already gone, it will be less likely to lose a weapon or a random component straight away. How does this work? When a weapon hits on the structure, let's say on this torso, if it rolls a crit, it can roll a crit on this component, or this slot, or this slot, or this, or this, or this, or this, or this. So there are 7 slots occupied here. So the crit can roll on one of these 7 slots. If it rolls on, let's say, 1, 2, 3, on the 4th slot, or on the 3rd, it will deal the damage to this specific ER large laser. The meaning is that the larger the equipment, the more likely it is to get hit by a crit. So if you put something like this, targeting computer 8 and a standard heatsink, the targeting computer 8 is 8 times as likely as the standard heatsink to get hit by a crit. So it is 8 times more possible for the enemy weapon to hit this one than it is to hit this one. That's why larger weapons tend to get destroyed a lot more often. This patch is very conservative, I would say. I agree with the direction in which this is going, but I strongly disagree with the amount of increase, especially on the weapons that occupy more slots. So, for example, let's say a gauss rifle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, occupies 7 slots. So it is 7 times more likely to get hit by a crit than an AC2. So this weapon is 7 times more vulnerable than this weapon. And now basically the AC2 retains 10 health, I think, while the Gauss only goes to 16. Right now has 12. So even if this weapon is 7 times more likely to get crit, it only has not even twice the amount of health. Of course, you don't want to put it just per 7, because otherwise it would have so much health that it would never, ever get crit. But the proportions seem just off by a large margin. All the weapons that occupy 3 slots or more should have received a lot more health. The main reason is they get crit a lot more often, and they are main weapons. So if you have 12 clan medium lasers and you lose 1 out of 12, whatever. If you have 15 micro pulses and you lose 1, whatever. But if your mech only has 2 AC-20s and you lose 1, you're gone. Your mech is gone. That's why the component health on these one, especially on the main weapons, should have been a lot more than this. This is not barely enough. Even the equipment got some buffs, but again, the buffs on the larger one, especially the targeting computers, isn't nearly enough. Oddly enough, there is no buff for clan double heatsinks, and this is very strange. I don't know why there is no buff to clan double heatsinks. As for the quirks, Mistlinks removed the machine gun ROF that stacked on top of the best build, which was 6 heavy machine guns and 4 micro pulses. So quirks should usually be used to make worse builds better, not to buff the best builds. So this one used to have machine gun ROF. This quirk is gone. The set of it though is reinforced a bit. Stuff for the spiders. I won't analyze them one by one because I'll have to do specific videos on most of these. Good buffs for the inner sphere rifleman. You have the UAC laser one. Buffs to the full ballistic ones. Then you have a good laser vomit one with 6 mediums and 2 large lasers. The rack one acts also as a jump jet one. The LBX brawling one. And this one is going to be able to run a nice 5 large laser in Alpha Strike. Ebon Jaguar. This was removed because Clan Laser Vomit is basically already one of the best equipped stuff to run. So you don't need to have heat quirks on 2 large pulse plus 6 medium lasers, which is the best laser vomit around. So no more heat on the best laser vomit. Some nice set of 8 increases to the Hellbringers because honestly they were pretty poor. Stalker 4N added 5 laser heat. This was needed because when we put the HSL on, we removed the laser heat, so basically turned into a nerf. And now it is just as it should be. Stalker 7D, this is the new one that can run more and pack more lasers and more heat sinks. It had 5 heat. This 5 heat is gone. I don't think this mech deserved a nerf. I disagree with what was done here. But it is not going to kill the mech in any way. The mech is still good. Direwolves. The direwolf mainly, what happened here is that the W and the C, so the one with 2 lasers in the CT and with the ECM in the CT, were seen as the best performing ones. And therefore, they got nerfed. Removed agility. Like, the direwolf already doesn't have agility. It doesn't move. It doesn't tank, it doesn't do anything. It didn't need to lose agility and get dunked even harder. Let alone that these mechs are far from being top performers in QP, because that's not the current meta. But at least the shit ones got addressed a little bit in the CT, so now you have some reasons to run direwolves that don't have 2 lasers or an ECM in the CT. Does this change how the direwolf performs in quick play? No, not really, because the quirks are not strong enough. These quirks are ridiculous. They're just too low. The fact is that what is meta in quick play is being able to fire between 400 and 600, 700 meters with good agility, good mounts, and good speed. This mech doesn't have agility, doesn't have good mounts, and doesn't have good speed, and doesn't tank, doesn't have good armor. It's a barely decent mech, but since it requires just too much skill to be used, it's just far from being meta, and these quirks are not going to solve anything. What ideally 100 tonners need is their agility equalized on the level of the Inner Sphere Marauder 2. So if all of these mechs like the Dire, the King Crab, the Kodiak had their accel, decel, and turn rate equalized with the Inner Sphere Marauder to maybe they could start doing something. But the fact that they don't tank, they shoot from the dick, this one, the King Crab as well, and they just don't move, just puts, to me, these mechs just out of the concept of meta in quick play. Moving forward, new quirk pass, Huntsman. You will have to look into these one by one, and I'll have to do a video on this one because there's just too much stuff. The quirks went pod by pod, so you need to check the pods one by one. There is nothing overpowered here, it's just that the off-meta builds on the Huntsman received some love, and rightfully so. Wolverines. I think you will find the Pulse Laser Wolverine 6K interesting, very interesting. Of course, it's an inner sphere, medium, so you need to run Excel, otherwise you don't have the heatsinks, the speed, or the weapons to do anything. If you start putting standard engine, LFE, blah blah blah, it is not going to do shit. This is 3 large pulses, 2 ER mediums, XL 280, and this is going to be an excellent skirmisher because of the nice agility and nice speed. This is actually a strong mech. More buffs also to the other Wolverines, ballistics, UAC jam chance. This was just UAC 5 jam chance. Now we can apply also to an Ultra 10. Black Lanner. There are 2 builds that are very strong on the Black Lanner right now. The small pulse plus ER micro and the 8 heavy medium lasers. These are buffs mainly to the off-meta builds, the ones that are shit. So these quirks, I think they're all well deserved. Clan Rifleman, you see, it's actually very, very, very strong. So we thought that just a little bit of CT armor and arm armor was enough. It already has good offensive quirks, so it didn't need even more. Some changes to the Rifleman. Please remember that the Rifleman already benefits from the change we have done on the missile bay doors. So there is no delay anymore. You can keep them closed, and this is just a free 20% damage reduction when the bay doors are closed if a missile weapon is equipped inside. That's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If so, smash the like button, subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time.